Imagine renovating a cheap old apartment, breaking a few floorboards, and discovering a small iron box hidden beneath the wood. Heavy, dusty, locked shut. You open it expecting old papers, maybe coins, maybe nothing at all. Instead, you find something that was lost for nearly 70 years, something worth far more than gold, something that would turn your life upside down and make you richer than you ever believed possible. This is the unbelievable story of how one ordinary man found a forgotten fortune, hidden under the floor of his own home. His name was Lucas Grant, 30 years old, quiet, hardworking, invisible to the world. He wasn't rich. He wasn't special. He was just tired of struggling, tired of renting terrible places, tired of living month to month. He worked as a night security guard and slept during the day. His life felt like a loop: work, sleep, repeat. His biggest dream? To one day own a small place he could call home. After years of saving, he finally managed to buy the cheapest apartment in the city, a tiny, old, creaking place built in the 1950s. It was falling apart, smelled like dust and mold, and had cracks on the walls, but it was his, and he believed that maybe, with some work, he could make it feel like a home. He didn't know that the apartment already had a secret waiting for him. One rainy morning, Lucas decided to pull up the old wooden floorboards in the bedroom. They were rotten, uneven, and squeaked loudly with every step. He planned to replace them with cheap laminate. Nothing unusual. Hammer, pry bar, sweat, dust. He removed one plank, then the next, then another. But when he pulled up the fourth board, he froze. Under the floor was a metal object, a rectangle, dark iron, about the size of a shoebox. His heart skipped. What is that? He knelt down, brushed off decades of dust, and lifted it. It was heavy, surprisingly heavy. He placed it on the floor and noticed something odd: a small emblem on the lid, a symbol he didn't recognize, an eagle with spread wings, surrounded by foreign letters, and a year engraved beneath it, 1953. His hands trembled. His mind raced. Was this a war relic? A family treasure? A forgotten time capsule? The box was locked shut with a rusted latch. Lucas whispered, "Please don't be empty." He tried opening it with his fingers. No luck. He got a screwdriver, pried, twisted. Finally, click. The latch snapped. Inside the box was a thick cloth wrap, old and yellowed, tied with string. Lucas unwrapped it slowly. His breath caught. Inside was a stack of documents, sealed envelopes, and 3 small velvet bags. He opened the first bag. Inside were coins, but not normal ones. They were pure gold, with ancient designs etched on them. Some Roman, some medieval, some from empires he only remembered from history books. He opened the second bag. More coins, but different, older, heavier. One of them had a date, 1714. His hands were shaking. He opened the third bag. Inside were rings, brooches, small jewelry pieces, all gold, all adorned with precious stones, rubies, emeralds, sapphires. "A treasure," he whispered. "A real treasure." But the biggest shock came next. Under the bags was a sealed envelope, brittle with age, stamped with wax. He opened it carefully. Inside was a letter, written in faded ink. "If you are reading this, these items belong to whoever finds them. They must never return to the family who hid them. They were taken, not earned." Lucas stared at the letter, stunned. Taken? From whom? By whom? Why hidden here? His eyes dropped to the bottom. A.G. 1953. He had no idea who A.G. was, but one thing was clear. Someone in the 1950s hid a fortune under the floor of the apartment, and no one had found it for nearly 70 years. Chapter 3: The Research. Lucas didn't sleep that night. He laid everything on the table: the coins, the rings, the documents, the strange letter. He Googled symbols, searched archives, went through old real estate records. Finally, he found something shocking. The building he lived in was owned in the 1950s by a man named Arthur Grayson, initials A.G., a wealthy antique dealer who mysteriously disappeared in 1954 after being accused of selling stolen artifacts, smuggled from Europe after World War II. Lucas's heart raced. He read further. Grayson's fortune was never found. Authorities believed he hid it before escaping the country and dying shortly after. Lucas leaned back in his chair, breathless. He had found Arthur Grayson's missing treasure, and the letter made one thing clear: it now legally belonged to whoever discovered it. The next morning, Lucas took a single gold coin and one ring to a small antique shop 2 neighborhoods away. Not the big ones, not the tourist traps, but a quiet store run by an old man who had been in the business for 40 years. The shop smelled of old books and varnish, wooden shelves, dust dancing in the sunlight. A bell chimed as Lucas walked in, trying to look calm, though his heart was pounding like a drum. The old man, a thin figure with silver hair, looked up from behind a magnifying glass. "Good morning. What can I do for you?" Lucas placed the coin on the counter. The man's eyebrows lifted. He picked up the coin carefully, held it to the light, examined the edges, the engravings, the date, 1714. He didn't speak for nearly a minute. Lucas's stomach twisted. Finally, the old man exhaled sharply. "Where did you get this?" Lucas answered quickly. "Family heirloom." The man didn't look convinced, but he nodded slowly. "This coin is extremely rare, pure gold, mint condition, early 1700s. He paused. "I could offer you $2,500. Right now, cash." Lucas nearly choked. $2,500 for one coin?" He swallowed and played dumb. "Is that a fair price?" The old man hesitated. Then he leaned closer. "Son, I'll be honest. This coin could easily sell for 3 to 4 times more at auction. But auction houses take time. I'm giving you an immediate offer." Lucas nodded, thanked him, and carefully took the coin back. He didn't sell it. Not yet. But now he knew. The treasure wasn't just old. It was real, and incredibly valuable. Chapter 5: The True Value. Lucas rushed home and placed everything on the table again. The gold coins, 19 of them, the jewelry, the rings, the brooches, the documents, written in languages he couldn't understand. He spent hours researching online, auction results, historical records, gold prices, jewelry appraisals. Every search made his heartbeat faster, his palms sweat more, his breathing quicken. He realized some of the Roman coins were worth $3,000 each. The medieval ones, $5,000 to $7,000. The 1714 coin, up to $10,000. The jewelry, tens of thousands more. The antique pieces, priceless to collectors. But there was one thing that shocked him most. Inside the box, tucked beneath the documents, was a necklace with a sapphire the size of a grape, surrounded by diamonds. He researched for hours and finally found an almost identical piece in a museum collection. Estimated value, $150,000, $200,000. Lucas leaned back in his chair, heart pounding. This is impossible. He tried calculating everything together. Coins, rings, brooches, necklace, gold weight, historical value, rarity. His rough estimate, $540,000, $720,000, $500,000, hidden under his floor for 70 years. And now, it belonged to him. Chapter 6: The Danger. But when something this valuable is found, danger follows. By the third day, Lucas noticed strange things. A car parked on the street, with 2 men inside, who didn't look like neighbors. A woman knocking on his door, claiming to be from the neighborhood community, but she didn't have a badge. didn't look familiar. A flyer tucked under his door, with no address or name. His phone received 3 unknown calls, from no caller ID. At night, he heard footsteps in the hallway, outside his apartment. His instincts screamed. Something was wrong. Someone knew. Someone had heard something, seen something, or maybe the old man at the antique shop. Became suspicious. Lucas began hiding the treasure. In different parts of the apartment, 1 coin in a cereal box, 2 rings behind a loose brick, the necklace under the sink, the box in the closet, inside an old suitcase. He barely slept, barely ate. Every sound made him jump. The treasure wasn't just valuable, it was dangerous. One evening, as Lucas walked home, he realized he was being followed. A man in a black coat, not close, not obvious, but always behind him. When Lucas crossed the street, the man crossed too. When Lucas turned a corner, the man did the same. His heart hammered. His legs grew weak. He walked faster. So did the man. He reached his building entrance and rushed inside, closing the door quickly. The man stopped outside and pretended to look at his phone. Lucas watched through the peephole, breath shaking. 2 minutes later, the man finally walked away. Lucas locked the door with both locks, braced his back against it, and slid down to the floor. He whispered, "I need to get out of here. I can't stay like this." Chapter 8: The Decision. Lucas realized one thing clearly. As long as the treasure stayed with him, he wouldn't be free. He'd be rich on paper, and a prisoner in real life. He needed to turn the gold, coins, and jewelry into legal, clean money, and do it in a way that wouldn't get him killed. He contacted a lawyer he found through a recommendation forum. A man named Daniel Hart, specialized in inheritance, estates, and rare assets. They met in a quiet office. Daniel listened carefully, as Lucas told a half-true version of the story. "My grandfather left me a box of old coins and jewelry. I don't know what they're worth. I just want to sell them safely and legally." Daniel didn't push. He'd heard stranger things. "Do you have them with you?" he asked. Lucas opened the bag and showed him just a portion, 5 coins and 2 jewelry pieces. Daniel's eyebrows shot up. "This is significant." He leaned back in his chair. "Listen carefully, Lucas. These are not things you sell to a pawn shop or a random buyer. You need expert appraisal and a reputable auction house. And you definitely don't tell strangers where you live." Lucas nodded. For the first time since finding the box, he felt like there might be a safe way through this. Chapter 9: The Experts. Over the next 2 weeks, Lucas met with 3 different experts: a numismatist, coin specialist, a jewelry appraiser, a historian who specialized in European artifacts. They examined each item carefully, measured weight, checked purity, verified authenticity. Their reactions told him everything. One of them, a serious woman in her 60s, put down the necklace very gently and said, "Do you understand that this piece alone could pay for a house?" Lucas swallowed. She continued, "This is not just jewelry, it's history, and it will cause a bidding war." They put together a detailed report. The final conservative valuation: coins, estimated auction range, $220,000 to $260,000. Jewelry, rings, brooches, minor pieces, $140,000 to $180,000. Sapphire necklace, $180,000 to $230,000. Total estimated value, $540,000 to $670,000. Lucas stared at the numbers, like they belonged to someone else. $500,000. Maybe more. The treasure under his floor was the kind of thing people talk about for decades, and he had found it while fixing squeaky floorboards. Daniel arranged for a major international auction house to handle the sale. They suggested splitting the items across 2 separate auctions to avoid suspicion and reduce risk. Lucas agreed. He watched from a private live stream as the first auction took place. The 1714 coin alone started at $8,000 and climbed to $19,500. Coin after coin sold above estimate. Small rings went $4.7,000, $11,000, $18,000. By the end of the first auction, the total sold amount was $312,800. Lucas felt lightheaded, and this was only the beginning. The second auction included the bigger pieces, the necklace, and the most valuable jewelry. The starting bid for the sapphire necklace was $120,000. Within minutes, it climbed over $200,000, then $230,000, then $250,000. After a tense bidding war between a private collector and a museum, the final hammer price was $276,000. By the end of the second auction, Daniel called Lucas with the final numbers. "Are you sitting down?" he asked. Lucas laughed nervously. "Yes. Total combined sales, after auction fees and taxes, come to..." He paused. $648 for 17. That's what you'll be receiving." Silence. $648,000? "Yes," Daniel said softly. "Congratulations, Lucas. You're a wealthy man." Chapter 11. A new floor, a new life. When the money finally arrived in his account, Lucas didn't celebrate loudly. No champagne, no wild party, no impulsive sports car. He just sat on the same floor, where he'd once found the box, and let the reality sink in. He thought about his life before, working nights as a security guard, drinking cheap coffee to stay awake, sleeping alone in a cold apartment, feeling like the world had forgotten he existed. Then he looked around. The apartment was still old, still small, still full of dust. He smiled. "The first thing I'm doing is getting out of here." He sold the apartment, not for the treasure. No one knew about that, but as a regular old flat. He moved into a better place. Simple, bright, safe. He paid off every debt he had, paid his parents' mortgage, put a large part of the money into safe, diversified investments, on the advice of his lawyer and a financial planner. And then he did something for himself. He stopped working nights. He enrolled in a course to become what had secretly fascinated him since childhood. An architect. The irony wasn't lost on him. He had found his fortune, hidden in the bones of a building. Now he'd spend his life designing better ones. Lucas's story isn't just about a treasure box. It's about the strange ways life can hold on to something just long enough for the right person to find it. For 70 years, that iron box sat under the floor, silent, hidden, waiting. Other tenants had lived there, walked over it, never knew. Workers had come and gone. No one discovered it. The treasure didn't belong to the man who stole it. He lost it. He hid it. He ran. It didn't belong to the authorities. They never found it. It didn't belong to the tenants, who never even knew it was there. It belonged to the only person who cared enough to pull up the floor and rebuild something old and broken. Sometimes life is like that. It hides opportunities in places that look ugly, tired, not worth your time. The apartment everyone ignored became the place where Lucas found his future. The rotten floorboards became the doorway to the rest of his life. So the next time you feel like nothing good ever happens to you, remember this story. A tired security guard bought a broken apartment, pulled up a few floorboards, found a rusted box, and became a man with over $600,000 in the bank and an entirely new life. Not because he was special, not because he was lucky from birth, but because sometimes, without any warning, life decides to give you a secret door, and the only thing you have to do is be brave enough to open it. If you want more cinematic stories like this, about unexpected wealth, hidden treasures, and ordinary people whose lives change in one unbelievable moment, subscribe to the channel. Your story might be next.